Peace and wellness, family. Welcome back to the channel. Overseas in America, the new and returning. Welcome to everyone. Thank you all so much for being here, for the continued love and support. Thank you to all of my day ones for continuing to rock with me. Just thank you to everyone. Sending love to everybody, okay? Y'all, we know that love is the highest vibration of them all. And so I am sending that out to all of you. Um, yeah. So in tonight's video, I do not have a prophetic message per se, but I am led to give the message that I am about to give or to have the conversation that I am about to have, because I feel like this information is needed. I feel like there is a lot of misinformation out there. I feel like new age spirituality has truly misled many, okay? And just in, dealing with my mentees and other clients, right? There are some things that I need to talk about. Okay, there's some things that we need to talk about, and so that's the gist of tonight's message, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna title this video "Everything Ain't for Everybody." Y'all have heard me say that before, and I'm saying it again. Everything is not for everybody. Okay, new age spirituality will have you thinking that because you can do a particular thing that you can do it all, or because you can pick up a deck of cards and read them that you can do it all, and that's not the case. Okay, it is very important out here in these spiritual streets and in life in general that you know your lane, or that you know your ministry, and that you stay there. Okay, because when you operate in things outside of what you have been called to operate in, that can be detrimental and have very severe consequences. Okay, and so that's what I want to get into now. If this message don't resonate with you, that's cool. Click off the video. Okay, it's not for everyone. All right, but those who have ears to hear, okay, let them hear. All right, and y'all hear my heart with this. Okay, because I am simply here as a vessel, okay, imparting wisdom, all right, which is a part of my calling, okay. Um, Everything is not for everyone, guys. New Age spirituality doesn't really teach you about spiritual rank and your spiritual calling, you know what I mean? Your gifting. Like, you may be gifted in a particular area, but it doesn't mean that that's the area that you are called to. Does that make sense? Like, I have many a gifts. You understand what I'm saying? Um, like a whole lot. However, I'm not called to all of that. Um, I'll go more into detail about that in just a little bit. But spiritual rank is very real. Spiritual ranking is very real. Um, it is a very real thing. And what I have seen people do is, doing a particular working, right? Something that they found on TikTok or Google. And they do it conjuring up certain spirits that they are not equipped, ranked, or hold the authority to deal with. Every person who can pick up a deck of cards and read them isn't necessarily supposed to do root work, right? Every person who can bring, and this is a perfect prime example for anyone who grew up in the church, or even if you are still in the church, y'all will know what I'm talking about. God can use anyone to deliver a message, right? Or like a person can have a prophetic anointing or a prophetic gifting, but that does not mean that that person is called to the office of prophet. Does that make sense? A person can pick up a deck of cards and read the deck of cards, but that doesn't mean that that person is called to serve the community, right? Some people are called to be healers for themselves and their bloodline, right? So it's like you're keeping your gifting and you're serving within the family, while other people are called to serve the community. All right. There's a difference, and everybody's calling is different. All right. Everyone's calling is different. Even when two people's gifts look similar, okay, is different because everyone's walk is different, okay? I tell people all the time, I've said it on the channel, I've said it to my mentees in our one-on-one sessions, like when you operate in things that you were not called to operate in, you open yourself up to a whole lot of a whole lot, okay? And what typically will happen is from there, you will think that someone is throwing negative energy at you, someone is trying to hex you or curse you or throw work at you. And it's not that. It's one, you're operating in a lane that you should not be operating in, right? Conjuring things that you ought not be conjuring, okay? Playing with things that you ought not be playing with, okay? And doing things that you don't have the rank or the authority to do. Spiritual rank is very real. It is a real thing, okay? That is not a myth. That is not something that is made up, okay? And that's in these spiritual streets, just like in, religious institutions or churches or whatever. There is rank. Everyone who can read cards and do root work may not necessarily be equipped to operate in deliverance. Okay? Do y'all understand that? The best example I can think of like what I'm talking about, there is a show on the All Black Network. It's called Wicked City, and it is about I think it's four of them, four young women. They have special powers, okay? And they call themselves witches, all right? And they all do good, but they all work differently. And the one young lady, Jordan, I remember in season 1, she would always feel inadequate or insecure because she's more of a seer. She's more clairvoyant, right? And she was always insecure about the fact that she couldn't do the things that the other girls could do. She wished that she had their powers. She felt like they were more powerful than her. And that's not the case. It's like, embrace your gifts, embrace your abilities, and learn how to walk in that. And once she did that, she found that she was just as relevant, just as important, just as needed in all of their missions as they defeated darkness, right? Because that's they every season there's a new darkness to be defeated. And they needed her. They couldn't have done that without her. So it's like she is a seer, but she doesn't have like the gift where I think like Angela deals in plants, she makes potions and things of that nature. And Charisse deals in like mind control and whatnot. And remember, y'all, it's TV, okay? I'm just using this as an example, but I hope y'all get the gist of what I'm saying, okay? um Everyone's gifting is not alike, but it takes everyone for the greater good. Does that make sense? So it's like you may not be able to do what the person next to you can do, but together, when you work together, when you collaborate, right, it's all for the greater good. But when Jordan tried to operate in a lane outside of the lane that she was called to, she opened herself up to some things. Okay. And that's real deal. That happens. And so again, I hear a lot of times when people are like, oh my gosh, someone sent this spirit to my house. Um, this dark spirit, this evil spirit, and it's like touching me at night, or it's whatever it's doing. And it's like, did someone send that spirit, or did you conjure that spirit? But you don't have the authority to. It's like when you open Pandora's box, you have to be able to close it. And if you don't have the rank or the authority or what have you, you know what I mean, you can't just close it. So this is something that I really want like everybody to understand. Um, Spiritual rank is a thing. It is very important to operate in the lane that you have been called to. Now, do you have some people who are called to different things? Absolutely. Absolutely. But that's not everybody. That's not everybody. You got to know specifically what you're called to. You may be someone who you can read the cards, you can give a message, boom, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're supposed to do things like hoodoo or other things. You know what I mean? And I don't want to say hoodoo. I don't want to say that because hoodoo is engraved in our culture. Okay. If you are melanated, it's engraved in there. Real talk. So I'll say root work, right? Everyone's not called to root work. And even those who are called to root work, you have some root workers who have apothecaries where they really just give herbal prescriptions for things. There are root workers who just deal in the medicinal aspects, meaning if you got high blood pressure, I'm going to give you a concoction for this. These are the herbs for this. Or, if you have anxiety and you smoke, I'm going to give you the herbs that you need to put in your thing, you know what I mean, for you to be able to calm down. Every root worker isn't out here um, casting spells and whatnot. Maybe that's how I should say that. And I don't even know if that's right, but I hope y'all get what I'm saying. And so understand that it is super important to know your calling, know what you are called to, find your lane, and stay in it. It is also important, again, to know that you may be a root worker, but are you a root worker for the community or for the collective? Or are you a root worker for your family? Okay, those are very important. Very important. Also, I've also witnessed people mixing hoodoo with like the Orisha, mixing, the Orisha with the Lawa. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, y'all, come on. No, no. Okay. The Lawa and the Orisha, different. Maybe the same archetype, you know what I'm saying? But different cultures. The Lawa, that is a part of voodoo, okay? And voodoo is a religion, okay? Um, so be mindful of that too, like the crossing of practices. Some of that is okay, some of that is not okay. And you have to understand what is and what isn't. The other thing, the crossroads, I have said before, don't let anybody online tell y'all to go to the crossroads, especially if you know that that's not your calling, or if you question whether or not you have that authority or that rank, right? Everybody is not called to that. Okay. And so be very mindful, even with going to the crossroads and doing the work, because again, when you open the door to a portal, you have to be able to shut that door. You have to be equipped with the anointing, the power, the knowledge, the wisdom, okay, to close that portal. All right. And so I love everybody. I do. And I want to see us all be great. And so I just beg of you guys to be super mindful of what it is that you are doing when you are doing it. And don't do something just because you want to do it. It's important that you get clearance, that you get the go ahead, right? That you go to your ancestors. You understand what I'm saying? Before you just out here doing a thing, okay? Because if you don't think your spirits will drag that behind for doing something that you're not supposed to do, they will. It is also important that you have your ego in check, because I have seen people say, well, my ancestors told me such and such and such. Well, Papa Legba came to me and said such and such and such. And it's like, Papa Legba didn't come to you and say that, because Papa Legba wouldn't say that, right? And so you have to ask yourself, right? Was that my spirits, or was that my ego? This is why shadow work is so important on the spiritual journey. This is why it is important that we heal. So that when you're doing things, you're not operating from an unhealed space, but from a space of love, right? And where the intention is always wellness. Okay. So I'm going to put a pin in it because we're already at about 20 minutes. Yeah, 19 and a half minutes. And I don't want it to be too long. So I'm going to put a pin in it right here. But if anybody has any questions, feel free to send me a message or comment down below. I love all of you guys. And like I said, I just want to see us be great and do great. Okay. Collectively. All right. I'm going to get out of here. But until next time, y'all be blessed. Peace. Bye-bye.